Hey guys, cool by my back. I'm Rick.
I'm Maggie.
And we are here with Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex. Last time on Sins of the Father.
I mean, sins of the son, using the father's knowledge.
Yes, the father kind of using the body of the son, kind of not. Trying to get revenge and blow this whole thing wide open.
I mean, if he set it up specifically for his son to... Did he even know? Like, has technology progressed since his death to the point where he couldn't have known his son could have done that to himself?
Progresses every day.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, on one hand, it seems like they're portraying a world that's moving fast. And yet, on the other hand, it also seems like the technology that the father was dealing with is exactly the same thing that the son's dealing with. And it hasn't changed, almost.
Yeah, I don't know. There's still like...
he basically logged into his old Nintendo account, sort of thing.
You can still buy computers with like VGA outputs and the old PS2, P2S, like mouse and keyboard ports. Old technology sticks around.
Well, aren't there like the really, a certain type of like really old keyboard is actually like worth tons and tons of money because technically every single key uses its own pathway to talk to the computer, so you don't have issues.
No ghosting.
Yeah.
In the shell. Ho. We haven't had a complex episode in a while. Let's see if this one is standalone or complex. That was a fun one, but I need to know, is Toga-san and Aramaki related? I need to know.
I don't know.
Go look it up.
Don't. Why?
I must know.
What are you doing?
It could have just been like a translation thing.
Well, then let us sit in mystery.
It might never be covered again.
Then that's when your own headcanon takes over.
Yeah, I don't know. What do you think? Like a great uncle?
I mean, I'll be honest. The one thing I found like that kind of adds to the whole lore of the situation was the fact that they specifically pointed out that she was an 80-year-old ghost in a young woman's body. Like, that's apparently unusual enough to note.
Sure. And that's very interesting. Like, you know, people... I mean, we've talked about it a little before, I think, but people, like, grasping onto their youth with plastic surgery or Botox or coloring their hair or whatever. Like, if you could just keep a young body, like, how would that affect you? How would that change you?
I wonder if in the future of this world, with the less people being biological and them taking on more and more cybernetics, if the need to continue to age might decrease with the less people like Toga-san that are actually aging at a set rate.
Yeah, maybe. But, like, is growing old part of the human experience?
You mean, like, losing physical abilities or just gaining experience? Because
losing physical abilities, like, you have to approach life differently.
I mean, I don't know. I think they're all, like, human experiences. There's some people that are, like, in perfect physical health, mentally, physically, up until the day they just freaking keel over from, like, a heart attack or something. They're, like... They never slowed down until they just stopped. And there's people where it's a long loss of some little things over decades.
Yeah, but there's...
And some people lose their physical abilities, not their mental abilities, or the mental abilities, not their physical abilities. Like,
I think everyone loses the physical abilities to an extent. Like, some people are much better off than others. But, like, I don't think, like, when you're 90... you can do things that you could do at your prime, you know? Like, everything degrades.
Yeah, I watched I can't remember how old she was. She was terribly old. I think she was like 93 or 95. Maybe it was 96. I watched my great-great-grandmother bend over fully and pick up her cat from where it was laying down on the floor. Like, she had more flexibility than I did as a child. And she picked up that cat and then just walked back over to her chair. Like, she moved the walker out of the way with her foot while she was holding the cat. And I was just like, and they take care of this woman? Like, how do they slow her down? She ate oatmeal 3 meals a day. As I was saying, some people don't lose much up until the very end.
Hopefully we can all be so lucky. But yeah, she did remind me a lot of the boss in particular. I wonder if, I don't know if any of this comes from the manga or if it's all original stuff. But yeah, I wonder which came first or if they were both like inspired from a similar source.
Yeah. I don't know.
Let's see. When would Metal Gear Solid 3 have been? 2004?
This was definitely before that, right?
Not too much before that, I don't think. Yeah, 2004 was MGS3. It was 2002.
Yeah, but when did the game go into, like, planning? And
Production?
stuff?
Oh, I mean, I don't know. Well, when did this go into production? Like I said, like there is a Ghost in the Shell manga, which started a long, long time ago, and there's the 2 movies as well, which all have separate canon, but I don't know if they like pluck things, you know.
I don't know. I feel like a strong Russian blonde sort of
Femme fatale.
Amazonian sort of like fighter femme fatale is kind of tropey, so...
But where did the trope start? All tropes start somewhere.
Sure, but maybe it was based on a real person.
With an eye patch? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, something about freaking woman with an eye patch. It's like... Oh.
I was hoping how they would tell us about this kidnapping. Because I get the whole, like, hacking in thing. I guess it could work a lot like The Laughing Man. Where, like, you just hack everyone's eyes and no one can see you take this woman. Like, that would be a terrible... But that would be so terrifying. Like, if I was a woman being kidnapped and I'm, like, yelling and screaming and, like, no one...
Notices you?
Notices me.
That you'll need a lot better therapy than the chief afterwards.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's how it went down or what exactly happened, but...
I mean, there's weird situations nowadays where it's like people seem to disappear out of thin air and no one just seems to notice.
Well, and there's situations, I can't remember what the phenomenon is, but like there's a lot of people around, everyone thinks someone else will help. And like no one ends up helping and...
Bystander effect.
Terrible things happen. Yeah, that's it.
But, I mean, the fact with the Laughing Man was that he was able to do it live.
Mm-hmm.
And this, they could have easily, like, set up locations or...
They could have, but not for the people walking by, right?
Well, no, but, like... I mean, they, like... Those things on their heads were basically just to, like, kind of hide the fact that they were there, right? But, like, what's to stop them from, like, I don't know, plugging something in that, like, kind of attacks them and, like, puts them in, like, a passive state for, like, a couple minutes or something. Just long enough to, like, walk around the corner and just out of sight.
Maybe. I wonder if those headgear have any, like, legitimate purpose. Like, are they just headphones that you would see people wearing?
The ones that they were wearing, that, like, with the jaws and such?
Like, I wonder if that is something that's on the market that is not just used for kidnapping.
Yeah, that's it's not the first time I feel like that there's been, like, they use, like, high-tech equipment, but then it's like, who manufactures these things? Do they have a catalog? Like, how do they put those products out there?
I don't know. She was working with some shady people, working with the mafia that screwed her over. Had her kidnap the former prime minister's daughter. Reminded me a little bit of...
How did they think that situation was going to turn out? Was it more important to get rid of her than to retain that?
Apparently, yeah.
Like, the chief mentioned, like, he thought it would serve as a deterrent, with them basically losing Kanzan.
Well, maybe the mob bet that the PM would keep it under wraps, you know?
Maybe.
I mean, they dealt with him before. He was in their pocket, it sounded like. That was the big news that came out, right? Or I don't know if the mafia...
He would just, like, get rid of his daughter. It's like, oh, well, no more daughter.
Well, not so much that, but just try to do it under the radar. Like sending
so,
assassins to kill the assassin sort of thing.
Or maybe, like, have them over for brandy and say, hey, like, bring my daughter back or something like that. Or what do I do for you to do this for me? Like,
I think it's more to get rid of the assassin was the main goal of them. But I don't know if the Mafia and the Northern Territory gang are the same thing, or if they're two separate things.
Yeah, it sounds like the Mafia, the local Mafia was the one that kind of set her up, gave her the bad list.
Yeah.
So maybe she, like, got on the bad side of their info giver, and...
Maybe.
They were like, we don't want to work with her anymore. Let's mess it up. I don't know, but it's pretty cool.
Also, I mentioned the Asian Miracle.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Well, I know, like Japan, I'm not sure about other countries, but they have a, like, declining population. So maybe that's like a reversal of that.
After the Asian Miracle.
Because, like, you know, we have the baby boomers, right?
Oh, yeah. Everybody comes home from war and has sex.
Yeah. So maybe it's a similar sort of thing. It's just after World War III.
Oh, maybe. Yeah. There was a World War III or something.
There was, yeah.
People came home and got it on. She's an old lady.
Pushing 80.
She must have been active. Like, Bato was active. For at least some, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. How long... It's hard to tell, like, what things happened when. Because, like, with... It sounded like the chief... Like, the guys he was contemporaries with, like, knew what happened at, what was it? Okinawa? Like, what actually happened? Like, that sounds like stuff that happened during the war. Cover up, whatever. That sounds like stuff that was, like
yeah,
that.
I don't know. I mean, there could have been World War III, but there could have been other wars too.
And then, like, instead of just ending, obviously, it just kind of tapers off.
Maybe.
Like, war is no longer in these areas, but it's still happening over here.
I don't know.
You know, gotta keep that next generation, I don't know, interested.
But yeah.
I like it when Togusa's snappy.
He's great. He's great. And I think we got Steve Bloom in this episode too.
That's
sound like his voice. Spike Spiegel.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It sounded like him. Absolutely.
And I don't know if it's the same, like, animation studio, but I'm pretty sure some of the people who worked on Bebop worked on this. So, good episode. Yeah. I liked it. I need to know more about the relationship between Togusa and Eromaki. Maybe we'll figure it out. Maybe we'll get back to laughing. We don't have a whole lot left of this season, so...
Are they just padding it out to the end?
Well, there's 2 that I know of, but I figure the Laughing Man stuff is resolved in the first one, but I don't know. This show surprised me a lot so far.
2 what? 2 episodes or 2 seasons?
2 seasons.
Oh, okay.
But I figured the Laughing Man's resolved in season 1, but I don't know.
I don't know.
We'll see. Maybe next time. Thank you guys for watching our reaction to Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex. You can get most of the rest of the way with us over at patreon.com/blindwave, where you can access early access, not just of this show, but of tons of shows that we are covering right now. Thanks, guys. Subscribe. We'll see you next time.